Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be reviewing the Grand Highlander iForce Max Platinum. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Lurch Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Grand Highlander. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbo 2.4 liter hybrid 4-cylinder paired to a 6-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 26 around town, 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 362 horsepower. This powertrain does get decent fuel economy, but this is more about horsepower rather than economy. If you want economy, you get the 2.5 hybrid. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So the Grand Highlander has this really large flat hood, gives it a cool boxy design, and then popping down below, I think the headlight design is really sharp, and you can see the chrome trim below that goes into the grille. We also have fog lights at the lower section, and then the grille is painted metallic gray, and so this kind of has more of like, it's still a Toyota, but it has more of a Lexus appearance because of that larger grille. Our turning wheel setup is 255 by 55 by 20. You can see the silver there on the top, kind of more of a chrome actually, and you got the darker trim there in the center. We've got these unpainted fender flares, and that trim continues along the bottom section. And then you can see a similar situation with the mirror cap. You got nice chrome trim there, at the bottom of the windows though. And then if we take a few steps back, you can see it's a big beast. There's your side profile. Now the Grand Highlander does get this kind of custom key fob. It says Grand Highlander there on the back, has some nice trim. You get your lock and unlock function, and then opening for the rear hatch. And this right here is why you get a Grand Highlander over a regular Highlander. So you can see with the third row folded down, tons of storage space. By the way, third row passengers get a little USB port, get some cup holders too. But yeah, tons of storage space, but even with the third row folded up, you still get a decent amount of cargo capacity, especially for a unibody crossover. So practicality, this is why you get the Grand Highlander, and I wonder if it still has, and it's got a little bit of storage underneath. And you can see the taillights here that kind of arc across in a little bit of a C shape. And then of course we have our hybrid Max badge. Very interesting. Got dual outlet exhaust tips on a hybrid. There's the rest of the rear. Now this leads us inside, and this is a Platinum, so we got sun shades here for the rear passengers. Soft touch at the very top, and then this is actually not soft touch, interestingly enough, but this is right here in the lower section. Got a little storage there. I love these seats, very Lexus-esque. I mean, look at that trim piece in the center. Really nice overall. Space back here is fantastic. Good legroom, got a little storage pocket. We have heated and cooled seats here in the back. We got our own climate zone, little charging ports. Got this little cup holder area. I've got little armrests. Now the pass-through here is pretty darn narrow, so you're probably best grabbing the latch at the top of the seat to get into the third row, which notice the third row seating does have nice perforated trim. Now you can fit adults in that third row, but I would reserve it for kids in terms of comfort and space and all of that, but you can fit adults. Now popping up front, you'll note that we've got more of that soft touch here down below as well. All of our window controls, yeah, these are straight out of a Lexus. Look how fancy those are. The mirrors power fold in, you've got your memory seat function, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. $12.45 for the payload, that's not bad. But here's the front seat, again, very nice trim. Power adjustments on the side, this is cool. That trim goes across, even this too. Heated steering wheel, you've got that to open up the rear hatch, and then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. And power! This is an iForce Max at the end of the day. So taking a look at the steering wheel, nice soft touch trim all around, and you can see the gloss black trim at the bottom, and then you've got this kind of like bronze gold trim. Adaptive cruise control with lane centering. We also have controls for the center stack, volume controls, paddle shifters there on the back for the 6-speed, regular stalks on the back for the lights and the turn signal and windshield wipers. Full digital gauge cluster here in the center, and when you change the drive mode, it'll give you a cool little pass-through animation with that. It does take a second for it to go out of this screen. I've noticed with the Toyotas, it kind of has a little bit of a load time there. You can customize what's on either side of the gauge cluster, and then if we hold the OK button, then we can actually change here in the center too. And something that is cool on this is that you can even change the display here. So I just got onto meter style. Now smart, I mean, that makes sense for a hybrid, casual. But I think this one, I don't think this is a tough car. Because look at that. It's a little bit funny. Sporty though. I think that works well for this. We'll leave it on that one. I think that's pretty nifty on that. You gotta go back through so many menus. 360 camera system, and I think this fills in, yep, fills in underneath the vehicle as well, which is always a nice system. And then you guys can see here, shortcut bar on the side, a little volume control there as well, so easy enough to use. Physical buttons, look how many physical buttons we have. We've got buttons for the climate, rear climate, front climate, heated and cooled seats. Everything is all right there, which I think is very user-friendly. Got a bunch of USB ports down below, phone charging pad for the camera. You guys saw the engine stop start there earlier. Storage here, got the little shifter. This is straight out of the Lexus. Come on, come on, come on. Parking brake with the auto hold. Stability control, snow mode with the hill descent, and then your droid mode select is that little dial. And then the center console is pretty big. I like the trim here on either side. It's a little bit of storage up top, and then nice trim on the glove box. Camera rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof in this unit. So here's our window sticker for this Platinum Hybrid Max. Base MSRP is $58,775. Most stuff that we saw was standard equipment. There's a few options. $61,908 is the total MSRP. So basically the base price of a Lexus I think it's like a TX 350 is roughly around that price. You get a fully loaded Grand Highlander with the Hybrid Max powertrain, but let's sum things up. Okay, well, I have already tested out this powertrain quite extensively because I own a new Land Cruiser. Now this is a little bit different because it has the 6-speed auto instead of the 8-speed, but it's got a lot of similarities. I guess the power outputs are different. My Land Cruiser has less horsepower, 326. This has more horsepower, 362. But my Land Cruiser has more torque, 465 versus this. I'm pretty sure it's like mid 3s for the torque if I remember right. So it's not really different, or it's not really more powerful all the way across the board. So I just want to quickly see if the driving or acceleration feels any different from the Lexus TX that I've already tested quite a bit. Can't take this far anyways, but yeah, it feels pretty much the same as the TX. Now, interesting to note, I do feel the torque difference with this versus with my Land Cruiser. It feels like they kind of bring on the torque a little bit less abruptly with this compared to the Land Cruiser. Just interesting to note these different Hybrid Max powertrains with how all of them perform. But I will say, very comfortable vehicle, independent suspension all around, very nice interior. The Lexus, what you're really getting, oh yeah, it definitely has a boost. It's got like a second kind of wind to it where it gets, let me actually put this in the sport mode. Let's see if that changes it. We got enough space here, there's no one coming through. Oh, the sport mode makes it way more responsive. That makes a huge difference. So, this is basically, I mean, the Lexus TX is its sibling vehicle, but this feels very similar. The biggest difference I'm noticing with the Lexus versus the Toyotas is the Toyotas have like a rougher texture at the trim. It feels more rugged, which I don't mind at all because this stuff holds up really well over time and just as comfortable in my opinion. Lexus does more like soft touch with the trim. So you kind of gotta pick and choose which you like more. But either way, really nice full-size, I'll call this a luxury SUV with the Platinum package. I think it's luxury. Heated and cooled seats. You've got these fancy seats with the cool kind of like inserts in them. And you're basically getting the Lexus experience, but you're paying quite a bit less. I mean, a LX, or not LX, TX, they got too many X's in their names. A TX 500H, that's gonna set you back like almost 80 grand. And so for $20,000 less, you get 90% of the experience, I would say. And like I said earlier, if you want economy, then get the 2.5. And I think that's why they offer the 2.5 in this and they don't offer, I don't think they offer it in the TX. I haven't seen one. I'll go double check, maybe they do. But anyways, the reason why they offer two different hybrid powertrains in this is like the performance variant, but still gets decent fuel economy. And then the hybrid gets much better fuel economy, but then the performance isn't as aggressive. And also, the thing I like about Toyotas is you get more physical controls, which is always nice. Like this is all screen in the Lexus, for example. So let me know your thoughts on the, we'll call it the Toyota TX, right? Because it basically is with the Platinum package, but let me know your thoughts.